90 seconds. That's how close humanity is to midnight, our symbolic point of no return. The Doomsday Clock isn't just a metaphor. It's a chilling warning crafted by the brightest minds in science and policy. So why was it set so dangerously close to the end in 2023? Who decides, and what can we do to turn back time? Stay tuned, because this is one clock you can't afford to ignore. The Doomsday Clock isn't your typical timepiece. It doesn't tell time, it tells the future of humanity. Created during the Cold War, this clock warns us about existential threats, from nuclear annihilation to climate change. And today it's at its most dire setting ever. In this video, we're diving deep into the history of the clock, the scientists behind it, and why the world should be paying attention. Plus, I'll break down what it means for us and how we can turn things around. Let's rewind to 1947. The world was still reeling from World War II. The atomic bomb, used for the first time in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, had changed warfare forever. The scientists who helped build the bomb were horrified by its destructive power and the potential for misuse. These scientists came together to form the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, a non-profit organization dedicated to educating the public about the dangers of nuclear weapons. To capture the urgency of their warnings, they created a symbol, the Doomsday Clock. Midnight represented nuclear apocalypse, and the closer the clock's hands moved to midnight, the closer humanity was to global catastrophe. Now you might be wondering, who decides where the clock's hands are set? It's not just random guessing. The Doomsday Clock is maintained by the Science and Security Board of the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, a group that includes leading experts in fields like nuclear technology, climate science, and international security. Their decisions are based on hard evidence, the status of nuclear weapons and international arms control agreements, the impacts of climate change, like extreme weather and rising sea levels, emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence and biological weapons, that could pose new risks. It's not just a scientific discussion, it's a moral and political one. They analyze threats, weigh humanity's response, and determine if the clock should move closer to or further from midnight. The Doomsday Clock has been reset 25 times since 1947. It started at 7 minutes to midnight, reflecting the dangers of the early nuclear age. Over the decades, the clock has moved both forward and backward depending on global events. In 1991, after the Cold War ended and the US and Russia signed a historic arms reduction treaty, the clock was set back to 17 minutes to midnight, the safest setting in its history. But since then, it's been creeping forward. In the 21st century, new threats emerged: climate change, cyber warfare, and political instability. By 2020, the clock was set to 100 seconds to midnight, marking the first time it passed the 2-minute mark. Why was it reset in 2023? So what happened in 2023? Why did the clock move to 90 seconds to midnight, the closest it's ever been? The bulletin pointed to several alarming trends. The Ukraine War. Russia's invasion of Ukraine raised fears of nuclear conflict, especially as Vladimir Putin made veiled threats about using nuclear weapons. Climate change. The planet saw record-breaking heat waves, devastating floods, and wildfires, signaling that we're running out of time to limit global warming. Global instability. From disinformation campaigns to erosion of democracy, the rise in political instability and distrust added fuel to the fire. The combination of these factors convinced the Bulletin's experts that humanity has never been in greater danger. What does 90 seconds to midnight mean? Let's be clear. The Doomsday Clock isn't a countdown. It's not predicting an apocalypse at a specific time. Instead, it's a warning. A way to measure how close we are to self-destruction and how urgent it is to act. At 90 seconds to midnight, the message is simple. We're at a critical point. The decisions we make now will determine whether we push the hands back or let them tick forward. How can we turn back the clock? The Doomsday Clock isn't just a tool for scientists. It's a call to action for all of us. Here's what needs to happen. Reduce nuclear weapons. Governments must renew disarmament talks and reduce their stockpiles of nuclear weapons. Combat climate change. We need bold policies to cut carbon emissions, transition to renewable energy, and protect vulnerable ecosystems. Regulate emerging technologies. From AI to biotechnology, we must ensure that innovation doesn't outpace safety and ethics. The Doomsday Clock reminds us of two things: the dangers we face and the power we have to address them. It's a symbol of urgency, but also of hope. We've moved the clock back before, and we can do it again. If this video inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into the stories shaping our future. Together, we can turn back the clock. Thanks for watching, and remember, time is still on our side, if we act now.